Hello. So, recently I had this amazing opportunity to perform my very first solo gig as a solo artist. And, I'm not a stranger to performing. I've performed in jazz trios and various other bands in the past, but this is my first time doing something as a solo artist. And I was able to do this as a part of International Women's Week this year. So I thought what I would do is look back over the video that I recorded of my set. So I played a 20-minute set and provide some commentary and I suppose behind the scenes look into what was going on, at the time that I was performing. Little insights into what went into my preparation for it and the things that I was thinking at that particular time. Obviously I'll be playing through the video of my performance and just making commentary, reacting and all sorts. So my first time doing this kind of thing, so let's just see how it goes. Firstly, I just wanted to talk through some of the preparation that I did before this gig. So this gig was quite a stressful gig mainly because it was only confirmed 4 days before the actual event. So, partially that was my bad. I was late in responding to the opportunity. A lot of that was due to self-doubt and other such emotions that tend to crop up. But in the end I did go for it, and in the end they accepted me to be part of the lineup. So yeah, I had 4 days to prepare a 20-minute set, which I had never done before. At that time I only had one song prepared for live performance. That was the result of a 1-month-long mentoring program that I'd been a part of just prior to this opportunity. I basically had planned to perform using just Ableton Live alongside my Akai MPK Mini Plus little MIDI keyboard. So yeah, I was basically programming, MIDI mapping a bunch of stuff into Ableton Live, creating stems from my tracks that I could use in terms of live production, and mapping it to the various buttons. And as you can see on this video here, I've got 8 pads there, got 8 knobs there that I was able to use, and it was a bit complicated. I had to resort to writing down all of the individual mappings on post-it notes because I kept forgetting what I was doing. And even so, I still, even with it written down like that, on the night, I did still forget a few things, as you will see. All right, so on to the performance. So needless to say, I was very nervous prior to this.
My name is Karen, also known as the English Kay. And yeah, this first song is called Cruise With Me. And when I'm playing it, what do you think? Miami, sunsets, palm trees, cruising down by the sea, that kind of vibe.
So as you can see, I've got my laptop there on the table with Ableton Live. Do you remember I talked about the MIDI mapping for various knobs? I had mapped various effects. Nerves. Okay, so first mistake, I forgot to zero one of the effects. Second mistake was that you can see I was pressing things and nothing was happening. I was making use of the A and B bank on the Mini Plus, and I'd forgotten to reset it back to A to trigger or turn on a certain sound that I was about to play live. So 2 mistakes within like the first minute of me performing. But the show must go on. I was meant to be an octave up, but hey, managed to keep going and people were none the wiser. Trying to figure out. Hallelujah! So what happened there was I finally figured out that I hadn't zeroed that effect on my keys. So for those 3 minutes that I've been playing, I was like in the back of my mind going, why does my keys sound so weird? Until I finally figured it out. So this is my improvised solo section of this track. I was also very conscious of all the talking that was going on at the time, and I remember just trying to play even louder to almost drown out all the people talking during my solo. I think a group of people had entered at that point and were just chatting among themselves. I know, rude, isn't it? Whoever that was, thank you. really enjoyed preparing these songs for live performance. I found that I had a lot of freedom to rearrange my track in a way that suited live performance. Obviously, that I could play just as a one-woman band. And that requirement kind of, I guess, gave birth to a lot of creative ideas. I had a lot of fun with it. It was stressful, but I really, really enjoyed the whole process. And even though I was very nervous performing on stage for the first time by myself, I also really enjoyed the whole experience. So here was another new mistake. I basically had each track loaded as a separate Ableton Live set, and I had neglected to open the new one.
Late Nights Eastside, and it was inspired by creative pursuits in the late hours of the night. You can interpret that how you will.
It's probably my friends advocating for me in the audience. Live playing certain elements and triggering loops at various points. Also some vocals. There was meant to be an echo effect on the vocals. I couldn't quite figure out how to get that through. I was applying the effect in Ableton Live, but I think in order for it to be heard through the the system there, that it might need to be like a hardware thing. I don't know, it's a little bit beyond my technical capabilities right now. Myself a lot of freedom to improvise. The format and arrangement of these songs are actually quite different from the original recording, which you can find on Spotify and all the other streaming platforms. I will link in the description of this video. Switching from the previous section to this, I had to draw things out. Basically, in the actual song, it goes straight from the electric keys solo bit into this sort of synthy sound, but it was impossible for me to switch the instruments fast enough to be able to play them right after each other. So I did what I call a lot of noodling in between to give myself some time. So this is a fun bit that I invented for the performance. That idea came about whilst I was just practicing and noodling around. I got that right so many times, and I got that right so many times during the practice, and didn't mean to play that bump note. I blamed the small keyboard. So the Akai Mini Plus is like, the keys are like tiny compared to an actual real piano. Of like how many pop song references I could fit into my improvisation part of this song, and I was like, hey, I wonder if Donna Summer would work. And it does harmonically, it actually works quite well. I know I'm talking quite a lot through this. If you want to hear the whole thing, interruption free, I've put a link to it in the description. It exists on my artist channel. There's actually a section in the call and response part of this that I neglected to, or that I forgot to include. That's alright, next time. Wrong octave. So that's another mistake I made. But you know, I didn't let it show. I guess that's just the most important thing. There will always be mistakes in any performance. You just have to keep going, and half the time the audience will not even notice. Yeah, so I think one of the most challenging things of this performance was actually remembering all the different things that I'd programmed, where I'd set the octave for whenever I changed instruments, because I was switching between different instruments, different channels of Ableton Live to play different solo sections.
This is going to be my last song. Any house lovers out there?
So yeah, remembering the arrangement, remembering what all of the pads and knobs did, it was a lot. So this is actually an unreleased track that I'm currently working on, which I thought would be fun to preview. It was actually really fun to perform. There was a little less going on in terms of the live playing, so I could relax a little bit and just enjoy. A little bit of live playing as well. This synth sound that I've introduced here, it actually wasn't in the original track. But while I was practicing, I thought it needed something a little extra. And now it's in the actual track that I'm in the process of making or finalizing. Oh, and this was a mistake as well. Back there where I repeated the section, I accidentally pressed the wrong button. So that happened twice actually during this song. So what I did was double down on it. I made it a part of the arrangement. Happened again. I think it's because if I don't press the button quite accurately, or if I press it too hard, I actually think the vibration triggers the button next to it. So yeah, that's one of the downsides of the MPK Mini Plus being on the cheaper end of the spectrum. There we have it.
And you can find my music on Spotify under Delicious Kid, although that track hasn't been released yet, so that's a sneak preview for you guys.
Right, so yeah, I hope you enjoyed this I guess little insight behind the scenes look into what was happening during this performance. And that was me talking to my partner there. He was like, "Is it over?" I'm like, "Yep, it's done." Yeah, so yeah, I learned a lot from this whole experience. It was very new to me performing in this way. The performances I've done in the past were me just, playing on a keyboard in like a little jazz trio with other musicians playing different instruments. Me controlling everything was a lot to think about. I know there are ways, I could make things easier for myself in the future. Obviously, the hardware makes a difference. So other people use the Ableton Push, for example, which basically maps everything and you can see everything that's going on. You don't have to rely on little post-it notes which tell you what you've mapped to what pad or knob for different tracks, and because they differed for each track, it was a bit of a mind so what else? So yeah, I think if there is some way I could make it easier for myself without having to buy an Ableton Push, I don't think I'm quite ready to invest in that yet. And also like one of the pros was having just one, I'll show you here, one little lightweight instrument to take with me to the gig, just this and my laptop. I mean, as a musician, former musician that had to lug around a really heavy, fully weighted 88 key keyboard and an amp in the past, this is so lightweight, so portable. It served me very, very well especially for what it cost, and I got used to the small keys as well. So all right, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments what you thought and whether you'd like to see more videos from me in the future. This is kind of my first vlog video on YouTube since like 10 years or something like that. It's been a long time. Anyway,